Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celsius 233, your go-to place for fiction book summaries. Today, we will immerse ourselves in The Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan. The Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan, published in 1678, is a seminal work in Christian allegory. It details the journey of its protagonist, Christian, as he makes his way from his hometown, the city of destruction, to the celestial city, a representation of heaven. This allegorical tale is known for its deep exploration of faith, salvation, and the trials that beset believers on their spiritual journeys. Plot summary: Christian stands in the city of destruction, weighed down by a heavy burden and clutching a book that reveals his plight. He laments the doom that he and his family are destined to face unless they find a way to escape. His family dismisses his fears, but Christian cannot be comforted. He meets a man named Evangelist, who points him toward a distant wicket gate, beyond which lies the path to the celestial city. Flee from the wrath to come, Evangelist urges, and with this counsel, Christian sets off, leaving behind his home, family, and the jeers of his neighbors. As Christian runs, his neighbors, obstinate and pliable, chase after him. Obstinate scorns his quest, urging him to return, but Christian remains resolute. Pliable, swayed by Christian's words of an eternal kingdom filled with joy, decides to join him. They have not gone far before they fall into the slough of despond, a miry bog representing doubt and despair. Christian struggles to get free, but Pliable, discouraged and disillusioned, scrambles out on the side nearest to the city of destruction and goes home. Christian is left to flounder in the mire until a man named Help arrives and pulls him out, directing him back on his path. Christian presses on, arriving at the wicket gate, where he is welcomed by Goodwill, the keeper of the gate. Will pulls Christian inside quickly to protect him from Beelzebub's archers, who aim to destroy those seeking to enter. Once inside, Christian learns of the path he must follow and the dangers ahead. He is directed to the house of the interpreter, where he is shown visions that deepen his understanding of the journey he is on. He sees a portrait of a grave man with his eyes lifted to heaven, a picture of a faithful guide. He witnesses the dangers of trusting in one's own righteousness through the parable of passion and patience, and he is taught the nature of true salvation. Continuing his journey, Christian arrives at the foot of a hill called Calvary. Here, his burden miraculously loosens from his back and tumbles into a sepulchre, never to be seen again. Lightened and rejoicing, Christian is given new garments and a scroll as a token of his salvation. This scroll is his assurance of acceptance when he reaches the celestial city. As he journeys further, Christian encounters two men, formalist and hypocrisy, who have climbed over the wall that guards the narrow path, believing they can reach the celestial city without entering by the wicket gate. They dismiss Christian's warnings about the dangers of their shortcut, but he presses on, determined to follow the path set before him. The way becomes more challenging as Christian ascends the hill of difficulty. While climbing, he meets two travelers descending the hill, timorous and mistrust, who warn him of the dangers ahead. But Christian is resolved to continue, despite their cautionary tales. Exhausted, Christian reaches a pleasant arbor, where he decides to rest. Unfortunately, he falls asleep and awakens to find that his scroll is missing. Panic-stricken, he retraces his steps and finds it where he had slept. With the scroll once more in his possession, he hurries forward until he reaches the Palace Beautiful, a place of refuge for weary pilgrims. Here, he is welcomed by the family of the house and is given food and rest. He learns more about the trials that lie ahead and is equipped with armor to protect him on his journey. Leaving the Palace Beautiful, Christian descends into the Valley of Humiliation, where he is confronted by the fiendish Apollyon. The battle is fierce and long, with Christian nearly losing his life. But through prayer and the use of his sword, which is the word of God, he overcomes the fiend. Wounded but victorious, he continues on into the Valley of the Shadow of Death, a place of utter darkness filled with dangers and terrors. Christian walks cautiously, guided by the light of truth, and manages to pass through the valley safely. Emerging from these trials, Christian encounters another pilgrim, faithful, who hails from the city of destruction as well. The two become companions, sharing tales of their journeys and the various temptations they have faced. As they travel together, they enter the town of Vanity, where they are captured and imprisoned for not participating in the town's sinful festivities. At Vanity Fair, They are put on trial before Judge Hategood. Faithful is condemned to a martyr's death, burned at the stake, while Christian is miraculously freed and continues on his journey, now accompanied by a new friend, Hopeful, who is inspired by Faithful's testimony. Christian and Hopeful travel together, facing numerous challenges. They are captured by giant despair and imprisoned in Doubting Castle. In their darkest hour, Christian remembers the key of promise he carries, which unlocks the doors of the castle and allows them to escape. They continue their journey, learning lessons on the Delectable Mountains and encountering shepherds who guide them and warn them of further dangers ahead. As they draw closer to the Celestial City, they come to the Enchanted Ground, a place that lulls travelers into sleep and complacency. Christian and Hopeful fight off drowsiness by engaging in uplifting conversation, recounting the joys that await them at their journey's end. They finally reach the River of Death, which they must cross to enter the Celestial City. The river is deep and turbulent, and Christian begins to despair, fearing that he will drown. But Hopeful encourages him, reminding him of the promises that have brought them this far. They wade into the river, and as they press on, Christian's fears are dispelled, and he finds his footing. They reach the other side of the river and are welcomed by shining ones who escort them to the Celestial City. The gates open, and they enter into the eternal joy and glory they have long sought. Christian's journey, fraught with peril, temptation, and trial, ends in triumph as he attains the everlasting rest and reward promised to all who faithfully endure. That's a wrap, but the journey doesn't end. Explore more books by John Bunyan. You'll find the details in the description or on Celsius 233. Remember, while our summaries capture the essence, they can never replace the full experience of reading the book. If this summary intrigued you, consider diving into the complete story, buy the book, and immerse yourself in John Bunyan's original work. Bye-bye, take care, have fun.